what's up, everybody? It's Brendan coming to you live again from that tiny room in the building in Chicago. Hey, here's what I wanted to talk about today real quick for everybody. A lot of times this video stream, this channel is functioning as a kind of a vlog for me, and a lot of times when I'm talking to you about stuff, I'm really kind of almost even talking to myself about stuff because I have to be reminded of all the things that I just need to be reminded of, things in life, all the stuff. So here's the deal. Lately, I'm having a lot of friends who are being really successful. They're doing really successful things, which is awesome. That's very exciting. You should be excited because if people in your network, even at the edges of it, are doing really well, it's a sign that you could probably be doing really well. However, I've also felt a lot of impotent rage lately. I have not been this mad since I was like, what's the word I'm looking for? Since I was forcibly celibate, since I was in high school and early college. It was the worst. Not since I was a virgin and could not lose my V card have I been this frustrated. And it's mostly because I don't feel like I'm getting booked enough. I don't feel like I'm doing a lot. I feel like I'm putting a lot of energy out into the world. And not a lot of opportunities are opening up yet. That's pain, is what I'm talking about. I'm experiencing some pain right now. Well, Ray Dalio is a guy, he wrote the book Principles, and he talks about pain being a teacher, and he talks a lot about reality and not ignoring it. And I want to draw this out for you guys real quick, because he has this model, and it basically looks like this. It's this loop model. You can check it out here in the background, and he's like, basically you're ascending the loop. You have a problem here, you basically descend, then here at the bottom of the loop, something happens. You, by the way, also go backward. I need to point that out. Then you come back up using the tool and then continue forward, and you're able to get over the obstacle. So the reason I'm talking about this is that I need to be reminded of this myself. This actually matches up with a guy named George Leonard who wrote a book called Mastery, who says that the mastery curve, I should put this up here, looks like this. It's basically like a tiny bump. It also goes down, but you're ascending. There's a jump, and then you come back. So the mastery curve is that you get better over time, but you have to encounter new problems. And as you feel like you're making progress, you are getting better, but it almost is transparent to you until you hit something that you absolutely overcome. That's the mastery curve. The mastery curve, I think, actually mirrors this. I think that this part right here, George Leonard fails to see that there's a big drop here. Well, here's the other interesting connection I'll make for you. I don't know if you're familiar with Joseph Campbell. He's one of my favorite writers, one of my favorite thinkers from the 20th century. This is the hero's journey. The hero goes on a journey. They encounter a problem or an obstacle or a monster or a villain or an enemy. Then they descend into hell, or this is the world of chaos, is what you could call this. This is, Jordan B. Peterson would call it the dragon Tiamat, the dragon of chaos. They descend here, they go backward, it feels terrible and frustrating, and all the things that are angering and all the pain that they experience comes from this circumstance. They fall into the pit. This is the scene from Star Wars where they're inside the trash compactor, basically. They get the ultimate boon, meaning something happens here that gets them to start coming out. I don't know what that looks like for me. I don't know what that looks like for you. I don't know what that looks like for any problem that you have. But the idea behind the model is like at some point when you're in the darkest part of your journey, somebody comes out or something comes out that will enable you to come out of it. I've heard this said this way before. At the bottom of the curve here, you're either going to find a tool or you're gonna find a tool. And that tool could be new principles. That tool could be a physical tool. That tool could be, in many mythologies, that's a sword. That's a lightsaber in Star Wars. It's also the Force at the end when Luke accepts and turns off his targeting computer. There's a lot going on here, basically, and I guess I just want to say that for me right now, even though I'm doing a lot of cool shit lately, I fucking met Ray Dalio recently. I'm networking with guys like James Altucher, who's one of the coolest people I've ever met. He's super amazing. I've actually made more money recently than I ever have before, which is still, by the way, not a ton. I'm getting booked. I'm doing a headlining a show. I'm doing road gigs and headlining shows this month. All of these things are great, but what's weird about them is that these are things that I've had to overcome that are still not even ascending in this direction yet. And I'm weirdly feeling like I'm circling back down and even retro a bit, and it feels a lot like I'm down here at the moment. I'm trying very hard to appreciate the things that I do have. I think displaying gratitude is important, but I'm also recognizing that at this point in my journey, I've got I'm maybe in a dark part. It doesn't feel like I'm making a lot of progress. Other people are leapfrogging me who I think are, who I think I maybe even am better than or deserve more than. Although I keep that judgment very lightly. I don't know, but I do know that something will happen. And if you stay true to the focus here, this is where a lot of people give up, by the way. They'll just get out right there. That's the hardest part to stay true in. But if you're able to do it, you'll ascend and go further. And I know that from experience because it's happened to me. I also know that through the teachers of all of mankind have always been telling the same story. So if you're in hell, just keep going. That's the quote from Winston Churchill. I'm going to keep going. Maybe the ultimate boon will happen. Maybe it won't. But it takes a kind of faith. That's how Napoleon Hill puts it in his book. To just continue. And so that's what I'm going to do. And this was a lesson for me today as much as it was anybody else. But put a comment below if you want to hear more about this. I'll reply and link some stuff. Meanwhile, the madness continues, everybody. Take care.